We understand how hard it is to win at this level.
It's what you play for. This is our goal every year.
We wouldn't have it any other way.
It will be a tall task.
I'm not afraid of the moment. I enjoy it.
I won't give up on my hopes and dreams.
Gets it to Leonard. Bang! Bang! Lost by Green. He is untouchable.
4 more wins and get back to celebrating.
Hey, Randolph, maybe we can get a sponsorship. Can you hear me now? The Warriors went on vacation. They spent a few days on the beach. Then they got back to work. They had 9 full days off. The Raptors, they had to work a little harder, but even they had 4 full days of rest. Their wait was more of a franchise thing, like years of agony. Will LeBron torture us forever? You know, that sort of thing. But tonight, it actually happens, and then we have to wait no more.
This entire year has been, kind of wild for us, chasing the same goal, but doing it, with a lot of noise around us. And to be able to start, here in Toronto against a different opponent in our 5th, straight finals creates a great edge for us. And I like the energy that we're coming in with.
You have to come in these games confident and, know what you could do on the floor. We want to play defense. We want to stop the player in front of us.
The challenge with Kawhi is it doesn't look the same. Like, when Steph dominated a game, like Kevin dominated a game, it does not look the same as when Kawhi is dominating the game. And so it can fool you to just say we can just guard him this way, or we don't have to put too much focus into him because it doesn't look the same. It's not as pretty. But boy, is it effective.
We win some games when we're not even playing well because of our fans. But they're a big key, and thank God we got home court advantage, because it's going to help us a ton, and hopefully we can protect it.
Seth Greenberg is here now. Look, the Toronto defense just caused headaches for both the Sixers and the Bucks. Look what they did to Giannis. Where could the Raptors potentially disrupt the Warriors the most?
Well, Drake's not guarding anyone. But I'll tell you, you're going to see a very physical Toronto defense. A lot like they did against Philadelphia. Watch right here. You're going to see denial and physical play by Siakam. You're going to see right here, you're going to see people playing above Redick. That's going to be Klay Thompson, Steph Curry. All right, they're going to be physical off the basketball, make it hard for them to catch, push them out a little bit as this play develops. Watch how hard right there Kyle Lowry does, making it hard for J.J. Redick to catch the ball. That's going to be Steph Curry. And look at right here. Look at Kawhi Leonard, his ability to step out because they have interchangeable parts. Once again, on the weak side, look at Siakam. He's going to get right up here, and he's going to get in denial. Look, I understand. Golden State Warriors, they'll back cut some. But look at Ibaka right here. He's going to be loose so he can help on the back cuts. This is kind of the game plan that it could need. Be physical on Steph. Be physical on Klay. And then if you get a chance, if you can trap Steph Curry, get the ball out of his hands. Kyle Lowry, terrific defender, shoots the gap. Curry, by the way, he had 5 turnovers in a number of games in their last series. Look for a very physical defense by Toronto. Look for them to try to disrupt some so they can get out in transition. Toronto's built to play this way because when you look at the makeup of this Toronto team, look at their overall length. You're talking about 7'3" wingspan. You're talking about athletic, long guys that at times are interchangeable. Kawhi Leonard, 7'3" wingspan. Pascal Siakam, 7'3" wingspan. If you bring Norman Powell off the bench, 6'11". Danny Green, 6'10". So as they switch, they have the ability to guard bigger defenders and also contest jump shots. If Toronto's going to win, they're going to win on the defensive end. And by the way, that guy Kawhi's pretty good.
Okay, that's all if, and Vegas still likes.
I got Toronto.
I was gonna say
we the North.
That's the
I'll tell you
Greenberg.
what, I actually do. It's interesting. I think Nick Nurse right now is separating himself as an NBA coach. I think Steve Kerr's the best coach in the NBA, but Nick Nurse, I think he's a savant offensively. How he moves people in the action, how he uses Kawhi Leonard in different places, and if Boogie Cousins plays, watch for them to put him in a ton of ball screens. And then on the other end, defensively, he decides what he's going to give and what he's going to take away. I'm telling you what, Nick Nurse is not letting Steph Curry and Klay Thompson beat him. Now, if Durant comes back, it might be a little bit different, but I do like Toronto.
Give me 7.
And that's not just
No, that's not TV.
That's not just tonight.
That's
the whole series.
They got home court. They've got momentum. They're rested. 9 days off is a long time. And I think as you immerse these new players in the rotation,
yeah,
that's going to be different for Golden State.
He's going to take the jacket off. Oh, I said, give me 7. He's going to take the jacket off, and he's going to reveal the We the North T-shirt underneath.
There you go.
Drake.
That's next.
Drake and I'll be hanging out. You know, I'll be kind of rubbing Nick Nurse's shoulders.
Pay money to see that. That is Seth Greenberg with the Inside, talking NBA Finals with us all morning on SportsCenter AM.
We understand how hard it is to win at this level.
It's what you play for. This is our goal every year.
We wouldn't have it any other way. It will be a tall task.
I'm not afraid of the moment. I enjoy it.
I won't give up on my hopes and dreams.
Gives it to Leonard. Bang! Bang! Blocked by Green. He is untouchable.
4 more wins and get back to celebrating.
DeMarcus Cousins says he's pain-free as he continues to recover from that quadriceps injury that has kept him out since Game 2 of the first round. But he's listed as questionable for Game 1 of the finals on Thursday. He practiced with the Warriors in Toronto Wednesday. Now he's waiting to find out the team's plan for him moving forward.
If it was up to you, would you play in Game 1?
That's the thing. It's never really up to up to me. You know, we'll put our heads together and figure out the best plan moving forward.
He's scrimmaged a couple times this week. He's pain-free. So it's really more a matter of rhythm and timing and conditioning. I think I mentioned the other day, if this were the regular season, I'd throw him out there and he'd play whatever minutes he could tolerate, and we'd build him up from there. It's not the regular season, it's the finals. So we have to figure out what's the best way to utilize him.
Let's bring Brian Windhorst into the conversation now. Brian, Kerr says they're going to find the best way to utilize him. What do you think that looks like for DeMarcus Cousins?
Yeah, there's 2 things at play here, Stan, and Steve Kerr has called this situation delicate. Number one, he's been out for 6 weeks, and you don't want to necessarily put him in a high-speed NBA Finals game where the other team plays very quickly. They don't want him to have 3 fouls in 2 minutes, so that's a concern. The other thing is, and Steve Kerr readily admits this, they're hot. They've won their last 6 games. They've been playing fantastic basketball, and they don't want to break their rhythm. So they want to honor the fact that DeMarcus has worked very hard to get healthy and get back without compromising their situation. So I expect there's a decent chance for him to be active and to get playing time. I do not expect him to start, and I expect them to be cautious with where they work him in, at least in Game 1.
The way the Warriors have been playing brings us to our next topic of conversation, Kevin Durant. He's out for Game 1. You would think he's one of the prime defensive options for dealing with Kawhi Leonard. So what does this mean now with Durant out?
Yeah, so this is, in my mind, a green light situation for Kawhi Leonard. If you're the Raptors, you want to force the Warriors to try to bring Kevin Durant back as fast as possible because Kawhi is dominating. If Durant is not in the game, it frees up Kawhi to save a little bit of energy on defense to go at the Warriors at the other end of the court. If he wants to get them ahead in the series and get off to a good start and lay the foundation for maybe another Finals MVP, this is the chance starting tomorrow night.
While we're on Finals MVPs, we've seen Andre Iguodala emerge as a Finals MVP with this Warriors team, even with all the other stars. For this series, give us a player on each team who could be an X factor in that way in this series.
Yeah, so for the Warriors, keep an eye on Kevon Looney. He had a terrific conference final series. Look, he's going to have to chase around and defend Marcus Gasol for big stretches of games. I expect 20 to 25 minutes. For the Raptors, we got an indication today that OG Anunoby, who has not played in the playoffs after having an emergency appendectomy, could be back in Game 2 or Game 3. He could be vital for them from a defensive situation, guarding the wings. That was big news for the Raptors today.
All right, all things to keep in mind as we continue to wait, but less than 24 hours now before they get it on. Thanks, Brian.
Thanks, Dan.
We got to go back home and take care of Game 6.
Curry launches a three-pointer, puts it in. Thompson rattles it home. It's good. Just a painful way to end the season once again for Chris Paul, James Harden, and the Rockets.
I know exactly what we need to do. We'll figure it out this summer.
That was 19 days ago, the last time the Rockets played a game, yet they've knocked the Warriors, the Raptors, and, of course, who else? The Lakers off the front page. The NBA's best insider is here. All right, Woj, you say Daryl Morey's preparing to shake things up yet again. What do you have for us?
Morey has essentially made his entire roster available to the NBA. And he's been on the phone with teams in recent days. Most of that focus around Clint Capella, their center. But James Harden would be the least likely to be moved. They want to build around him, but they're open if teams want to make offers for him. And the more complicated one is Chris Paul, 34 years old, owed 3 years, over $120 million plus left on his deal. That's a difficult contract to trade, but Daryl Morey has never been afraid to just push the reset button, and he is certainly trying to find a way to improve this team and make everybody available in the pursuit to do that.
He's nothing if not bold. That's how they got Harden, Chris Paul, Dwight Howard back in the day. That's his MO. Speaking of James Harden and Chris Paul, there was some friction reportedly between them towards the end of that series against the Warriors. How does that dynamic play into your reporting here?
Zubin, they've had to work through things this season. I'm told that there's nothing that can't be worked through in this offseason that would allow both of these players to come back, play together again next season. But there's no question that those two have to work through some things. And I think it's broader than even those two. I think it's with Coach Mike D'Antoni's system and how the pieces and style of play all fit together.
Indeed. And D'Antoni, of course, looking for a new deal to return himself. He says he wants to go 2, maybe 3 more years. Before I let you go, you also reported the Pelicans executive vice president of basketball operations, newly minted David Griffin, met with the disgruntled Anthony Davis for breakfast earlier this week in Los Angeles. The big takeaway from that meeting was?
That David Griffin wants to try to talk again. He wants to make a case to Anthony Davis about a future in New Orleans with his vision, with Zion Williamson. And I'm told that the conversations moving forward may be more focused with Rich Paul, Anthony Davis's agent. He was at that morning meeting today in Los Angeles. But, you know, Anthony Davis asked for that trade back in January, and he hasn't moved off of that yet.
Not yet. Davis can sign a 5-year Supermax deal worth more than $230 million on July 1st. Only catch is he's got to sign it with the Pelicans. And I think it's pretty clear how he feels about the Pelicans at this point. It's pretty clear. Adrian is the NBA's best insider. Adrian, thank you.
Thank you, Zub.
15 seconds away from an NBA championship.
The relationship with time in that moment is everlasting.
Andre Iguodala's like, keep playing, we got 50 seconds left. And I'm like, bro, we about to win the title.
The next thing you know, you go like, we're the champs.
The anticipation's about to end because the series is about to start. Game 1 in Toronto on ABC Thursday, both teams on the floor Wednesday. First NBA Finals for this Warriors group, in which they'll play Game 1 on the road and face someone other than King James for the championship. Namely, the guy that's now getting the same level of adoration as King James. That would be Kawhi Leonard, but don't take my word for it.
I mean, he's tough, obviously. He's been playing amazing this whole playoff run and really all season. He's always at his own, pace and never seems to get rushed or be in a hurry. He's obviously physically gifted and strong and can get to his spots, but he's become a really good shooter.
Oh, he was Finals MVP in 2014, so 5 years later, he's probably a little bit older and wiser. He's definitely older. I think he's wiser. I think he's seen more. But no matter how you slice it, he's been a superstar in this league, one of the top few players in the game for 5-6 years now.
You know, he's really worked to get to where he is today. Well, with that type of work that he's put in also comes a different mindset because you also understand how much you had to work to get to where you are today. And that comes with a different mindset, a different appreciation. And when you have that different appreciation, it shows in your play, and it showed in his play, and it shows in their team being in the NBA Finals.
Here's something we'll show you, the gold standard stat brought to you by Modelo. According to the Elias Sports Bureau, Kawhi Leonard is just the 4th player over the last 35 years to lead his team in points and reach the finals in his first year with that team. Something Leonard would like to reverse, though, Mike, is that none of the previous 3 players you see on the screen were able to win the title. Though as for the team looking for their third title in a row, our Nick Friedel has more on a very, very quick healer.
The Warriors still can't believe DeMarcus Cousins even has a chance to return for Game 1 of the Finals. After he tore his quad last month, many within the organization thought that's it for the year. Now that question hovers over Kevin Durant and his injured calf. As his teammates answered questions on Media Day, Durant got his own private workout in, but it remains to see when or if he'll be able to return in this series.
Hey, I'm old enough to remember when people thought Mark Jackson was tripping when he said the Splash Brothers were the best shooting backcourt in NBA history. Well, you know what? We got you, Mark. We pulled some receipts. That's next on SportsCenter.